Hello, everyone. Welcome to our soup supper. Now, we may not be able to all eat soup together in the same room to celebrate like we usually do, but we still can have music and stories together. Doesn't that sound fun? Are you excited? I'd like to express a great amount of gratitude to Bob Pewson for running the technology needed to stitch this video together. I would also like to express immense appreciation to everyone who contributed in words or song. Thank you. Can you say thank you?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. As part of our evening, we will have a craft time. So if you feel inclined to do so, please grab a piece of paper and a pair of scissors at some point during the video. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I hope that you have a lot of fun watching. Can you say, we'll see you in a bit?
I'll see you in a bit.
We'll see you in a bit.
If I were going to soup supper this year, I might make a strawberry poppy seed salad. Earl Dyer was actually the one to pass this recipe along to my mother, who then passed it along to me. And the strawberry and spinach and poppy seed dressing all mixed together is so delicious, and it's the perfect item to bring to a potluck. Additionally, maybe I would bring a kind of vegetarian potato soup with cheese. Lois Hanson was the one to teach me that you can stick a bag of shredded cheese in the freezer and it lasts a really long time. And then you can just stick it back into the refrigerator to defrost it and it works perfectly. I had no idea. So thank goodness for Lois Hanson in many, many ways.
Hi, I'm Kim Zeman, and today I'm going to read you a story called Soup Day by Melissa E.Y. As I'm reading, I want you to think about what your favorite soup is and what you like to eat on a cold winter's day. Today is Soup Day. I help Mommy pick out the vegetables. She says it's important to choose the freshest ones with the brightest colors. This is what we put in our basket. 1 bunch of crispy green celery, 2 shiny yellow onions, 3 long orange carrots, 4 smooth tan potatoes, 5 tiny dark green zucchini, 6 big white mushrooms. Oops, we almost forgot the parsley. Back at home, we wash the vegetables. Then Mommy chops everything into different shapes. The celery and onions become tiny squares. The carrots become circles. The potatoes become cubes. The parsley becomes confetti. I get to cut the mushrooms and zucchini with a plastic knife because they are soft. Mommy helps my hand. We pour oil into the big soup pot and Mommy cooks the onions, celery, and carrots together. This makes them soft. They sizzle in the oil. Then we fill the big pot with broth. Sss. It makes a loud sound. I help put in the rest of the vegetables. Mommy covers the pot and we wait. For a while, we make a city. We read to each other. Then we have to escape from a big monster. Before long, our home smells like yummy soup. Mommy checks the pot. We hear soup bubbling inside. She tastes it. It needs a little something, she says. Mommy adds some spices. Now I get to choose which kind of pasta to add to the soup. I pick alphabet because I like to eat the letters. Sometimes they make words. While we wait for the noodles to cook, we clean up our city. We return the books to the bookshelf. We put the monster to sleep. And then Daddy's home. Now it's time to eat our soup. Mommy lets me sprinkle the confetti parsley on top. It looks like green snow. I love Soup Day. And I hope you love the book too.
Hi, Sylvie.
Hi, Jack.
Hey, I thought we would teach everybody a song. How do you feel about that?
Suspicious.
You're suspicious, good. Well, you should be. This is a song that I learned when I was your age, and I learned it at Prescott School.
Oh, that's the school I go to, but in the pandemic now I just do homeschool.
But
yeah.
still, it's your school.
Yes.
And not only that, Sylvie, I went to school at Prescott when I was your age, and I lived on Sewell Street, about 2 houses down.
Yeah, I live on Sewell Street. I go to Prescott School, and I'm 8 years old.
Yeah, and that was exactly true of me.
Yes.
I lived about 2 houses down from where you just moved. Amazing. But you did not learn this song at Prescott School.
No, but I learned This Land Is Your Land, if you know about that song.
Well, we're going to have to
make... A really great song.
You're getting distracted. We're going to have to do that song later. Maybe we'll do that for 4th of July.
Maybe.
Anyway, are you ready to go? Oh,
What is it? What is it?
We're going to sing Over the River and Through the Woods.
Oh, yeah, I know that one.
Okay. And we're going to do it first as a call and response. So why don't you explain what that means?
So a call and response is like, I maybe even ask you a question or something, and then I pause, and then you answer it. Like, I'll do a little short one, like, do you like the color purple?
And I would say an answer to it. And
Yes.
so when you're doing a song like this, you'll sing a line, I'll leave a little pause for them to sing back. And once we do that once,
Okay, so like I'll say over the river and through the woods, and then I'll pause, and then the background music will still be on so that you can like sing it after me. So so it's just gonna be like, pretend I said at the first, like, repeat after me. And then you just repeat after me, so.
I think they can do it. Okay. All right, I think enough talk. We're gonna do it right now. Ready?
All right, ready.
Okay.
Over the river and through the woods, to grandfather's house we go. The horse knows the way to carry the sleigh through the white and drifted snow. Over the river and through the woods. Oh, how the wind does blow. It stings the toes and bites the nose as over the ground we go. Over the river and through the woods, to grandfather's house we go. The horse knows the way to carry the sleigh through the white and drifted snow. Over the river and through the woods, oh how the wind does blow. It stings the toes and bites the nose as over the ground we go. It stings the toes and bites the nose as over the ground we go. I love the little ending.
Let's see, this is Oscar and Stacy. And so if we were coming to the Soup Supper this year, we would probably bring what we made tonight, which is potato latkes. So here's a picture. And they're just fried potatoes because this year we could all use just some comfort food fried starches in our life, particularly if it's seasonal and appropriate to the holiday. So happy holidays, everybody. We'll be watching this when you do as well.
This story is called Tacky's Christmas by Helen Lester. Christmas had come to nice icy land. Excitement was in the air and in the water and in the ice cubes. Goodly, lovely, angel, neatly and perfect had everything beautifully organized. First, we must wrap our presents, they said. But wait, where was Tacky? Where Tacky was in the chimney, practicing, and stuck. He had been selected to wear the Santa outfit since his belly shook like a bowl full of jelly when he laughed. Eventually, his companions found him, and with much huffing and oofing, whop, they pulled him out. Present wrapping was very secret, so each penguin hid behind a block of ice. Shh. Now that the presents were wrapped, it was time to turn to the task of making ornaments. As they worked with glue and glitter and sequins, the penguins sang their favorite carol. Deck the iceberg wrap of gifty, fa la 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 la. Make an ornament that's nifty, fa la 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 la. hanging on a tree. Tree? There weren't a whole lot of trees in nice icy land. Maybe we should decorate Tacky, suggested Goodly and Lovely. He's sort of tree-shaped, if a bit heavy on the lower part, added Angel, Neatly and Perfect. Hey, suit me up, cried Tacky. And so they did. It was a red tree, and they'd been dreaming of a green Christmas, but never mind. With the presents under the Tacky tree, there was only one thing left to do: open the gifts. Goodly gave each penguin a jar of belly sliding slickum. Lovely offered zippy speed flippers. Angel's gift was snappy bow ties. Neatly provided feather dusters so they could dust their feathers, and Perfect gave bottles of yellow brand beak and foot polish. Finally, Tacky presented each of his companions with a can of shaving cream. Shaving cream for penguins? Goodly, Lovely, Angel, Neatly, and Perfect were speechless. So Tacky took over. Hey, this is really fun stuff. Let me show you. And then Squirt, Goodly, Lovely, Angel, Neatly, and Perfect were about to duck when suddenly they were interrupted by thump, thump, thump of feet in the distance. Oh no, they cried, on Christmas yet, but Tacky was in full Squirt mode. He zapped Goodly and Lovely, who pleaded, Tacky, the hunters are coming. Oh, this is so cool. Squirt, Angel got it next. And meanwhile, the hunters were approaching with rocks and locks and maps and traps, and they were rough and tough as the thump, thump, thump grew closer. The penguins could hear their growly voices chanting, we're gonna march some pretty penguins, and we'll drag them through the snow, and we'll take away their Christmas gifties. Ho, ho, ho. Please, begged his companions. But Tacky was having too much fun. Goodly, Lovely, Angel, Neatly, and Perfect were totally squirted with shaving cream. Here you go. It takes a lot to make a penguin shiver, but by now, Goodly, Lovely, Angel, Neatly, and Perfect were crouching behind Tacky, shivering. The hunters grew closer and closer, and finally they thumped right up to Tacky, stopped, and then stared. And then, most surprisingly, they broke into big silly grins. Whoa, him's not a pretty penguin, him's Sandy Claus. Looky that beardy, and him's got jewels and sequins and sprinkles. Gotta be Sandy Claus. Shyly, respectfully, adoringly, the hunters bowed. Goodly, Lovely, Angel, Neatly, and Perfect peeked out from behind Tacky, and the hunters gasped. Why, looky them Sandy selfies. Them's got beardies too. Whoa, look at that. Merry Christmas, Elfies. Merry Christmas, the penguins bubbled back. Well, of course, there was only one thing to do. It was Christmas after all, a special time of giving and sharing. So the penguins invited the hunters to stay and enjoy their fish pudding. Tacky came down the chimney before dinner. They sang and played games and told jokes, and everyone was filled with the Christmas spirit and had the merriest Christmas ever. And much, much later, after the happy hunters had departed, Goodly, Lovely, Angel, Neatly, and Perfect hugged Tacky. Tacky was an odd bird, but a very nice bird to have around, especially at Christmas. And that is the end of that story.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. The bells on bobtails ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight!
If I were coming to soup supper and I was going to bring a soup, I would have a really, really hard time deciding what kind of soup to bring because I've been making so many different kinds of soup lately. I could make carrot ginger, I could make beef and barley, I could make ham and potato, I could make minestrone, I could make sweet potato, West African, spicy Thai green curry, chicken, no meat, tofu, curry combination soup. We'll just call it refrigerator soup and it'll be delicious.
The Snowy Day by Ezra Jack Keats. One winter morning, Peter woke up and looked out the window. Snow had fallen during the night. It covered everything as far as he could see. After breakfast, he put on his snowsuit and ran outside. The snow was piled up very high along the street to make a path for walking. Crunch, crunch, crunch. His feet sank into the snow. He walked with his toes pointed out, like this. He walked with his toes pointed in, like that. Then he dragged his feet slowly to make tracks. And he found something sticking out of the snow that made a new track. It was a stick. A stick that was just right for smacking a snow-covered tree. Down fell the snow. Plop! Right on Peter's head. He thought it would be fun to join the big boys in their snowball fight, but he knew he wasn't old enough. Not yet. So he made a smiling snowman, and he made angels. He pretended he was a mountain climber. He climbed up the great big, tall, heaping mountain of snow and slid all the way down. He picked up a handful of snow, and another, and still another. He packed it round and firm, and put the snowball in his pocket for tomorrow. Then he went into his warm house. He told his mother all about his adventures while she took off his wet socks. And he thought and thought and thought about them. Before he got into bed, he looked in his pocket. His pocket was empty. The snowball wasn't there. He felt very sad. While he slept, he dreamt that the sun had melted all the snow away. But when he woke up, the dream was gone. The snow was still everywhere. The new snow was falling. After breakfast, he called to his friend from across the hall, and they went out together in the deep, deep snow. The end.
Hey everybody, my name is Bob Fusen. I'm the music director here at the Unitarian Church of Lincoln. And what I would bring to Super Supper is kind of a special family recipe in my family for Cincinnati chili. Cincinnati chili is a little different than normal chili. You serve it over spaghetti and it's usually topped with like oyster crackers and shredded cheese and raw onions. And it's really, really good. My grandmother used to make it. We would go to her house in Kentucky and she would always make it because it was my favorite. And then later she taught me to make it. And I've added my own kind of special geographically influenced ingredients to mine, which I won't give away here. But it's one of my favorite things to make. It's one of our favorite things to eat. Maybe next year at the Super Supper we can try some of my grandmother's Cincinnati chili.
Hi everybody, Merry Christmas. I'm going to teach you a really simple song today, but it's a round, so I needed some help. And I've invited Shelly and Karen and Mandy to sing along. They'll help us all out because this is not a performance piece, this is a sing-along. When you get comfortable, jump in. Christmas is here, it's the time of the year to celebrate and be of good cheer. Alleluia, alleluia, Christmas is here. Christmas is here, it's the time of the year.
Christmas is here, it's the time of the year
to celebrate and be of good cheer.
to celebrate and be of good cheer.
Alleluia, Christmas is here.
Alleluia, Christmas is here. Christmas is here, it's the time of the year to celebrate and be of good cheer. Alleluia, alleluia, Christmas is here. Christmas is here, it's the time of the year to celebrate and be of good cheer. Alleluia, Christmas is here. Christmas is here, it's the time of the year to celebrate and be of good cheer. To celebrate and be of good cheer. Alleluia, Christmas is here. It's the time of the year to celebrate and be of good cheer. To celebrate and be of good cheer. Alleluia, Christmas is here. Alleluia, Christmas is here. Christmas is here, it's the time of the year to celebrate and be of good cheer. Alleluia, time of the year to celebrate and be of good cheer. Alleluia, time of the year to celebrate and time of the year. Alleluia, time of the year to celebrate and be of good cheer. Alleluia, Christmas is here. Alleluia, Christmas is here.
All you need to make a paper snowflake is a pair of scissors and a piece of paper. First, you fold the short edge at an angle to touch the long edge, so you can cut out a square. Then it should look like this, or something close to that. You have a little excess here. You cut that excess off, but you'll need it later if you want to make a smaller version of this. A smaller snowflake. Your excess, and then your snowflake should look like this so far. And then you fold one of the points like this across so it looks like that. And then you fold the other one across like this, reaching across to give it a hug, you know. So it has like 2 little ears and 1 unicorn horn. And then you fold it in half. So it kind of looks like an ice cream cone without ice cream in it. That's what it should look like right now. Ready, Emma? Yep. And then you cut that piece off. You don't want the ears or the horn. Yeah, all you need is this. You don't need this. You cut whatever design you want into this. So you could cut triangles like this. The more you cut, the more frilly it looks. The more kind of frilly, but also lacy it looks. And it is. I've got mine done. you unfold it after that. This is mine right now, and then I'm gonna unfold mine. And now it looks like this. Here's another example that we made. And then open it up. It's pointing now. That's another example. You can also make little ones with this. Do the same steps, except you're doing it smaller. So, look like this. This is the extra, or excess. Then you go snippity snip. Now this we don't need. And then you do fold, so it should look like this. Or somewhere close to that. I'm gonna refold mine so it looks like this. Has a little unicorn horn in one ear so far. Then you make the other ear by folding the other one over like this. So it kind of looks like a fox with a horn, a unicorn horn. And then you fold that in half. Should look like that, just like a little fox. And then you cut that off like that. So you have just like a little unicorn horn. Yay! And then you can start cutting any pattern you like into it. Okay, I am done with mine. Here is mine. This is mine so far, and then I'm gonna undo it like this, turn this, and then there we go. It's a little snowflake. As you see, we have some other snowflakes that you can make. And that is all. Hope you had fun learning how to make 6-point paper snowflakes.
Hi, my name is Kelly Ross. I'm the member and admin coordinator for the church. And if I were attending Soup Supper this year in person, I would probably bring something that someone else made because I am in love with food from other cultures and I can't replicate it. So I would probably bring soup from Kurdistan, and I'd probably ask one of my Kurdish friends to make marage fasulia, which is red soup with white beans and the most delicious combination of spices you can ever imagine.
This next story is called Herschel and the Hanukkah Goblins. Now, this one has certainly become a bit of a tradition at the Unitarian Church of Lincoln. My mom and my brother and I used to read this story back when the gallery had a fireplace right in the middle of it. I know that some of you remember that. So let's pretend that we're all sitting on those giant pillows gathered together to listen to this one. And we will begin. It was the first night of Hanukkah. Herschel of Ostropol was walking down the road. He was tired and hungry, but nevertheless, his step was light. Soon he would reach the next village, where bright candles, merry songs, and platters piled high with tasty potato latkes, and everyone awaited him. But when he arrived, the village was silent and dark. Not a single Hanukkah candle could be seen. Isn't tonight the first night of Hanukkah? Herschel asked. We don't have Hanukkah, Herschel, one of the villagers answered sadly. It's because of the goblins. They haunt the old synagogue at the top of the hill. They hate Hanukkah. Whenever we try to light a menorah, the goblins blow out the candles. They break our dreidels. They throw our potato latkes on the floor. Those wicked goblins make our lives miserable all year long. But on Hanukkah, it's really bad. Herschel knew he must help the village people. Oh, I'm not afraid of goblins, he said. Tell me how to get rid of them. It is not as easy as you think, the rabbi warned. You must spend 8 nights in the old synagogue. The Hanukkah candles must be lit each night. On the 8th night, the king of the goblins must light them himself. That is the only way to break their power. Oh, I'm not afraid, Rabbi. If I can outwit a few goblins, then if I can't outwit a few goblins, then my name isn't Herschel of Ostrapol. Well, the villagers wished Herschel good luck. They had no potato latkes to give him, so they packed several hard-boiled eggs for him to eat, along with a big jar of pickles. The rabbi gave Herschel a brass menorah, a package of candles, and a box of matches. Then the villagers said goodbye. Nobody expected to see Herschel again. He finally reached the old synagogue. He put 2 candles in the menorah and set it on the windowsill. He struck a match and lit the shamash candle. He said the blessing and was about to light the other candle when he heard a voice. Hey, what are you doing? Herschel turned around. Here was a goblin, no bigger than a horsefly, with a long pointy tail and 2 little bat's wings hovering in the air. I'm lighting Hanukkah candles. Tonight's the first night of Hanukkah. Oh, no, it's not. We don't allow Hanukkah around here. That's so. Who's going to stop me? A little pipsqueak like you? I may be little, but I'm strong. Really? Can you crush rocks with your hand? Crush rocks? You're joking. Nobody's that strong. I am. Watch. Herschel took a hard-boiled egg from his pocket and squeezed it until the yolk and the white ran through his fingers. That's how hard I'm going to squeeze you if you try to stop me from lighting these candles. The little goblin's eyes opened wide, since in the dim light, the egg looked exactly like a rock. The little goblin shook with fear. You leave me alone. One night won't make a difference, but you better not be here tomorrow night. Big, scary goblins are coming, much bigger than I. If they catch you lighting Hanukkah candles, you'll be sorry. We'll see about that, Herschel said. Herschel then lit the first Hanukkah candle. On the second night, another goblin appeared. This one was big and fat and waddled like a goose. Herschel was finishing his dinner of pickles and hard-boiled eggs. Have some pickles. Pickles? Here, catch. Herschel tossed him a sour pickle. The goblin caught it in his mouth and swallowed it. Pickles are good. Do you like them? I have plenty in this jar. Take all you want. The greedy goblin grabbed as many pickles as his claws could hold, but when he tried to pull his fist out of the jar, he couldn't. I'm stuck. You put a spell on this jar to hold me fast. That's right, and it's a very powerful spell. You came here tonight to stop me from lighting Hanukkah candles, so now I'm going to light them while you stand with your hand in that jar and watch. How do you like that? No, no, I hate Hanukkah. Herschel said the blessings and lit the candle slowly. Then he sang all his favorite Hanukkah songs. The goblin wailed and carried on so much that Herschel finally decided to let him go. Okay, I'll tell you how to break the spell. Let go of the pickles. Your greed is the only spell holding you prisoner. The goblin let go of the pickles. His hand slipped out of the jar easily, and how that goblin raged! He had stood with his hand in a pickle jar while Herschel lit Hanukkah candles under his nose. The furious goblin stamped his foot so hard that he shattered into a million pieces, and the wind blew them away. The third night came. Herschel felt something watching him as he set the candles in the menorah. Instead of lighting them, he began playing dreidel instead. An hour passed. Herschel looked up, and sitting across the table was another goblin. This one had a fiery red face and 2 enormous horns. It's getting late. When are you going to light the Hanukkah candles? Later. There's plenty of time. He spun the dreidel. This is way more fun. What are you playing with? Looks like a top. It's a dreidel. Don't you know about dreidels? They're lots of fun. You can also make lots of money if you know how to play. Herschel knew that all goblins loved money, and this one was no exception. But you must have gold. That's the first rule. I have plenty. Is this enough? He poured a pile of gold coins on the table. That's fine. Now listen carefully. This letter is shin. If it comes up, you give me a handful of gold. This letter is hey. If it comes up, you give me half of your gold. And this is the letter gimel. If it shows up, you give me all your gold. Do you understand? Now, this is a bit sneaky and not really how you play the game. He was just saying this to trick the goblin. Wait, there's one letter left. What about this one? Oh, that's none. If the dreidel falls on none, I don't give you anything. Ready? Let's play. You go first. The goblin spun the dreidel. The little top whirled around and around, and when it fell, the letter on top was shin. Too bad. Try again. Maybe you'll have better luck. Herschel took a big handful of the goblin's gold. The goblin spun the dreidel once more. This time it fell on hay. Oh, this isn't your night. One more time, your luck is bound to improve. Herschel helped himself to half the goblin's gold. And once again the goblin spun. This time the dreidel landed on Gimel. Herschel took all the goblin's gold. Too bad. Would you like me to spin? The goblin agreed. He was not happy about losing his money. Herschel spun the dreidel. This time the letter none was on top. Oh my, I don't give you anything. I get to keep all the gold. Say, that was fun. Get some more gold and we'll play again. What about the Hanukkah candles? I'll light them later. There's plenty of time. Not for me. I'm leaving. I don't like this game. I don't like Hanukkah, and I don't like you. Oh, don't go. I know lots of games. Stay a while. We'll have fun. The goblin spread his wings. He swooped out the door and flew off into the night. Herschel lit the candles all by himself. Now, on the following nights, other goblins came. One had 6 heads, one had 3 eyes. All were terrible and fierce. They growled and they roared and they changed themselves into horrible shapes. They tried to stop Herschel from lighting the Hanukkah candles, but Herschel fooled them all. Finally, the 7th night arrived. 8 tiny candles flickered on the windowsill, and Herschel sat back to enjoy their light. Where were the goblins? Had they finally given up? Herschel felt sleepy. His eyes closed. But then, suddenly he sat up. He heard a horrible sound, a voice that sounded like the cracking of bones. Happy Hanukkah, Herschel of Ostropol. Who's that? Who's there? Don't you know who I am, Herschel? Weren't you expecting the king of the goblins? The voice rose to a hurricane roar. It ripped the shingles from the synagogue roof and shattered the windows. The Hanukkah candles reeled in the savage blast, but they did not go out. You're too early. You're not supposed to come until tomorrow. The great wind died down. Don't worry, Herschel. I am far away. But I have the power to see you and speak to you. Enjoy this last Hanukkah evening, my friend. Tomorrow night I will come for you. You fooled my slaves, the other goblins. Let's see if you can fool me. Poor Herschel. What was he to do? The king of the goblins was on his way, and no power on earth could stop him unless Herschel had an idea. It was a big chance, but he had to take it. It was the only way to save himself in Hanukkah. It was the last night of Hanukkah, and Herschel set the candles in the menorah. But instead of placing it on the windowsills, he put the menorah and the box of matches on a small table near the door. And he sat down to wait. Night fell. It grew dark as pitch inside the gloomy old synagogue, and outside the whole world lay cold and silent. Suddenly, a great gust ripped the synagogue's door from its hinges. The whole building shook, and a fearsome voice spoke. Herschel of Ostropol. Did I hear something? It is I, the king of the goblins. Oh, don't be silly. You're one of the boys from the village. You're trying to scare me. I am not a boy. I am the king of the goblins. Oh, I'll believe it when I see it. Show yourself to me. Behold, I stand before you. Do you believe me now? Herschel tried not to look. Even in the darkness, he could see the outline of a monstrous shape filling the doorway, a figure too horrible to describe. He pretended not to care. It's too dark. I can't see anything. A candlestick and some matches are by the doorway. Why don't you light a few candles? Then I'll see what you really are. Indeed you shall. A match flared. The shamash candle caught the flame. Herschel's blood turned to water at the awful sight before him, but he did not lose courage. He started to pray. Master of the world, thou who created the heavens and the earth and the spirits of the air, stand by me now. Then he addressed the goblin. It's still too dark. What are you afraid of? There are plenty of candles. Why not light them all? A hideous hand shook the shamash candle and lit the others one by one. Herschel felt himself growing faint, but he forced himself to look. His eyes grew wider and wider as each candle caught the flame. 6, 7, 8. The king of the goblins stood before him. Now, Herschel, do you know who I am? I know you're not Queen Esther. Very funny. Enjoy the joke. It will be your last. Ah, that's what you think. Be gone, or I'll take a stick to you. How dare you talk to the king of the goblins that way? Oh, I'll talk to you any way I please. You have no power. Your spell is broken, see? The menorah is lit. You thought those were ordinary candles you were lighting. They weren't. They were Hanukkah candles, and you lit them yourself. The king of the goblins roared with fury. The earth trembled and a mighty wind rose. It ripped off the synagogue roof and blew down the walls. It splintered the great timbers and scattered them like matchsticks. Around the menorah, the whirlwind howled, but the candles never flickered. They burned with clear, steady flame. The king of the goblins had no power over them. The spirit of Hanukkah had triumphed. The great wind vanished as suddenly as it had risen. Herschel rubbed his eyes. The night was as still as before, even though the synagogue was gone. Walls, floor, roof, even the foundation stones had vanished. But the menorah remained. Standing tall upon the little table where Herschel had placed it, Herschel waited until the last candle burned out. Then he started down the road that led to the village. I better hurry. I don't want to miss the last night of Hanukkah. But there was no reason to worry. In every window there stood a menorah with 9 gleaming candles to light the way. The whole village was waiting for him. And that is the end of that story. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming tonight.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, and take care.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a partridge in a pear tree. On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. On the third day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. On the fourth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the fifth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the sixth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 6 geese a-laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the seventh day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 7 swans a-swimming, 6 geese a-laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 8th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 8 maids a-milking, 7 swans a-swimming, 6 geese a-laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 9th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids a-milking, 7 swans a-swimming, 6 geese a-laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 10th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 10 lords a-leaping, 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids a-milking, 7 swans a-swimming, 6 geese a-laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 11th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 11 pipers piping, 10 lords a-leaping, 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids a-milking, 7 swans a-swimming, 6 geese a-laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 12th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 12 drummers drumming, 11 pipers piping, 10 lords a-leaping, 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids a-milking, 7 swans a-swimming, 6 geese a-laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in